these two guys, either Johnny McEnroe on the left or Jimmy Connors on the right, will make it to the top of Philadelphia today and will be the U.S. professional indoor champion of tennis, a title that goes back to 1969. And Jimmy Connors on the right has been certainly the king of tennis in the United States and the king of Philadelphia. He has won this title 3 out of 4 times he has played in the event. He's won 10 straight matches in Philadelphia, 20 out of 21. But along in 1979, Johnny-come-lately, Johnny McEnroe, not even 21 years of age, has taken away the #1 ranking that Connors held for 6 successive years and threatens today to take away his championship. Good afternoon, I'm Bud Collins along with Donald Bell, and on the floor, Barry McKay. We're waiting for the start of this best-of-5 set championship match for the United States Professional Indoor Championship. And now let's listen to the national anthem. So the police and firemen's band in Philadelphia, and a kid who has caused a lot of fires on the tennis court, Johnny McEnroe, playing in his first championship match in this tournament. Connors has played in every final here since 1976. Dick Stockton, Donald, made a slight interruption in Jimmy's reign over Philadelphia. In the 1977 final, Dick beat Jimmy, but there was no doubt in anybody's mind that Jimmy was the king of American tennis players in those days. And so Jimmy Connors is now threatened not only by John McEnroe, but by a highly publicized groin injury. You know the groin injury is the fashionable injury in tennis these days. Everybody, you're not a tennis player unless you've had a groin injury. I don't know why that is, Donald. I know in the days when you played, nobody was allowed to get injured because you didn't get your free lunch then.
Well, you didn't get paid, or you didn't get your expenses or your hotel if you got injured. So everybody was fit all week long, regardless, because that's the only way you could get by week to week. But you mentioned, Bud, about Stockton. He did beat Jimmy here in 5 great sets, 6-1 in the 5th in that match. The only time Connors did not win this title. But 2 or 3 short months later, Jimmy did beat Stockton in the finals of WCT that year.
World Championship tennis
4
in
sets
Dallas.
and dominated the year. I think it's a particularly important match for Jimmy Connors. Much more in a way for Jimmy Connors than it is for Johnny McEnroe, because McEnroe has now surpassed him on the #1 ranking in the USTA. He's surpassed him in a lot of people's minds around the tennis world. And I think Connors wants this title, and particularly this opponent, very badly, because it would set the stage if he wins here that right away in 1980 people are saying, gee, he's #1 in America. You know, he's the ranking American if he can get off to a quick start and beat McEnroe. Today they're not thinking that way.
Exactly right, Donald. Jimmy Connors opened up against another left-hander, Tom Gullickson, the lefty of the Gullickson twins, 5 and 4. Then Raul Ramirez, 6-2, 6-2. Wojtek Fibak, 6-2, 6-2. And last night against Gene Mayer, the younger of the Mayer brothers, 6-4, 6-love, 6-2. And you notice 3 sets there. From semifinals on, this U.S. Pro Indoor goes to best-of-5 sets. So that's what we'll have for you today if it takes forever. If it takes 5 sets, we'll have it. Now, Johnny McEnroe started off against a very good player in the first round, Brian Teacher. Remember Brian winning Newport over Stan Smith last summer? That was 6-4, 6-3. Buster Mottram, the British Davis Cupper, 6-2, 6-2. And he got the other Gullickson brother, Tim. Jimmy beat Tom. That was 6-4, 6-2. Jose Luis Clerc, a splendid young Argentine, 6-2, 4-6, 6-1. And yesterday, John McEnroe squeezed by the sensation of the tournament, John Sadri of Charlotte, North Carolina, 7-6, 6-4. It was the scores wrong there at 7-6, 4-6, 6-1, 6-3. And I should tell you that Sadri had a set point in the first set, so he could have led McEnroe by 2-0. Jimmy Connors is moving around well as we look toward the referee's desk and the announcer's desk, where Dave Zinkoff, the voice of Philadelphia, holds forth on the public address system. And we're getting ready now. We're looking at umpire Jay Snyder in his chair. Connors has gained a great deal of acclaim from the people running the tournament here, because he's been iced up like a frozen daiquiri every night after he's played for this groin injury. Trainer Bill Norris says high in the groin, a very painful injury, and he is on the court. And there is the voice of Philadelphia, Dave Zinkoff. All those 76er games. Did you ever see one of those games when the 76ers played the Celtics, Donald? Oh, my word. And Zinkoff would be there. A dipper dunk for Wilt Chamberlain.
Came down here, Bud, and saw the Portland Trailblazers play them in a playoff 2 years ago when the place was packed, and Philadelphia beat them in one of the games in the final round.
Here's Johnny McEnroe, the U.S. Open champion, going against the defending champion here in the U.S. Pro Indoor, Jimmy Connors.
15-9.
I think this will be an awfully important test for Jimmy Connors here in the first set, whether he can establish the pace against the power of John McEnroe. No better server than Johnny McEnroe's left-handed delivery.
McEnroe.
30-9.
They have played 9 times. Connors leads in the rivalry, 6 victories to 3. He won the first 4 they played, but McEnroe has won 3 of the last 4.
I think the match, Bud, that surprised me the most in their rivalry was the U.S. Open. I thought Connors was fit and really eager on that surface, and I thought McEnroe just destroyed him in front of about 20,000 people on national television in the semifinals. That surprised me that John could bust through like that. No call.
No call. I think the point goes to Connors. They're both looking to the net judge. Brooks Koepfer. Game McEnroe. Yes, the point goes to McEnroe because the players did not play. And that's the end of the game. First game of the match. Both players obviously thought it was a let. And now Connors is indicating he thought the serve was a fault. Let's look at it again.
Looks a little long there on the screen, about 4 inches. Connors did not really play it, nor did McEnroe. He just kind of bunted it over the net. No call, and he was awarded the point and the game.
Well, it's the first game of the match. As Jimmy Connors sits down, Bill Norris, the tournament trainer, is next to him. And the rivalry, 6-3 for Connors. They first played during Wimbledon 1977 when McEnroe made that sensational run to the semifinals as a qualifier. He did win a set. Connors won the match. Then they came to the United States for the U.S. Pro in Boston. Connors was in trouble. He won that 7-5 in the third. Then the National Clay Court, 1978. Connors won that. 6-1 in the third. They went on to the Masters, and that was McEnroe's, the Open. Connors beat McEnroe. Then in the Masters, that was McEnroe's disputed first victory when Connors left the court with a bleeding blister on his left foot. But as Donald mentioned, when we finally get round to the U.S. Open, 1979, 6-3, 7-5, 7-5, Connors was dominated by McEnroe.
And that was the big one, but in a major championship.
It is out.
I'm really kind of pumped up. I'm looking forward to doing this match.
When you have a United States Championship and the two top Americans, why not? John McEnroe is number 3 on the Association of Tennis Pros computers, 1 spot behind Connors. Bjorn Borg, of course, is at number 1. He did not enter this tournament. So, 2 love games by the servers, 1 game all. You may be having some problem with audio on your set. It's a giant fan. And there, it's Patty McGuire Connors, Jimmy's wife, along with, on the right, tournament director, co-director Marilyn Fernberger. The Connors' 6-month-old baby is doing just fine. Tremendously advanced, the kid is. Looks like an athlete already. Wide.
What are you now, Dr. Spock or something? I mean, you're now analyzing advanced ages of children.
No, I tell you who I got that information from. J.M. Lacey, our statistician, who is an authority in that field, and Laurie Pignon, the British.
An advanced stage at 6 months. I want to remember that, Collins. I'll talk to my wife about our twins.
The British pediatrician, Dr. Laurie Pignon. So he saw the kid, and he says he's very advanced. He's going to be much bigger than Jimmy.
Interesting matchup here when John McEnroe serves in that ad court. He spins the ball to Connors' forehand. That is Connors' weaker side, so he has a little edge in the advantage court. The left-hander to the left-hander.
It's long. First double of the match. So there it is, 2-1 for John McEnroe. Both men serving well as we go to courtside, and Barry McKay along with semifinalist Gene Mayer, who lost to Connors last night.
Gene, you played a tough match with Jimmy last night and had a few things to say about the difficulty of playing against a so-called injured player.
Yeah, it's pretty hard because Jimmy was playing pretty well, but every point he seemed to lose, he'd start limping. So it put in my mind the question whether he'd finish the match and exactly how long he'd be able to run real hard, which is difficult when you're trying to concentrate on playing the type of tennis you have to beat Jimmy Connors.
So in other words, when you see Jimmy out there, it detracts from what you're trying to do with your own game rather than playing against a 100% guy?
That's true. I tried to change my game to make the points last longer and try to get him run and stretch a little bit more. And that sort of backfired because he was able then to hit the ball harder and get to him better than he had in the first set when I was hitting the ball a little harder.
How about John McEnroe out here today against Connors in the same situation? Is that going to affect McEnroe?
Well, I spoke to John already about it to be aware that this is a possibility, and I told him to try and bear down the first set and a half. If he can get on top, I'm not even sure Jimmy will necessarily finish the match.
So you think there's a chance he may not finish?
I think there's a pretty good chance, yeah. He's cultivated this all during the week, and I think there's a good chance he won't finish.
Okay, Gene, thanks a million.
Well, there you have a very candid opinion from Gene Mayer, along with Barry McKay, saying that Jimmy has cultivated a climate to withdraw if he feels that he can't win. Well, we'll see. Let's not jump in before anything happens. He certainly played well to go through the tournament. Nevertheless, you have to look at the results, and they're all victories. Jimmy Connors has won 16 straight matches in this tournament at the Spectrum.
I was going to say, Bud, he's I would hope, a very proud guy, and he's going to want to defend his title. And once you get all the way to the final, you've only got one match to play and to win. And I look to him to go flat out. Gene Mayer is right about one thing. He did limp a lot last night from time to time while he was winning the match, losing only 6 games. But nevertheless, let's see what happens.
Well, Spencer Tracy had a limp at Black Rock, too, didn't he?
That picture was before my time. 2-1 McEnroe. Connors serving 15-all.
Careless error. John McEnroe spent 7 hours on court yesterday in winning his singles and doubles. Wide, 2 games all. That was with a half-hour break between matches, but a total of just about 7 hours. He said it was one of the longest days he put in. Somebody said, well, you finally earned your money, John. A lot of people work 7 hours a day. The announcers on this telecast were selected by KQED San Francisco and approved by KQED and the Association of Tennis Professionals.
Great quickness and anticipation of Connors. I think that's what he does best, is his anticipation, not his power, but his ability to guess where the ball's going and meet it properly. Tremendous balance. Stays down low. And cannot match McEnroe stroke for stroke in power, but in intensity and competitiveness, certainly.
Jimmy Connors has the first opportunity. Love 30. Wow, second double fault, and the triple breaker hangs around the neck of McEnroe.
Yeah, heck of a good start for Connors. He can break early. McEnroe pacing back there like a panther. Not happy with the way he started here. He has been a little loose, a little careless. And he's at love 40.
It's a let. Net judge Brooks F. Keffer detected it. There's Brooks, risking his left hand on the tape.
heck of a rally. We'll watch it. McEnroe with the big first serve. Connors guesses, lunges. Here Connors makes another save. Look at McEnroe with a little half volley winner into the open court. What touch.
Seeming casualness. 15-40, double breaker. Ace. First of the match, and here's break point 3. Comes in on the second ball, and Connors can't get the return. So, sweet escape for the moment for John McEnroe. That drumming in the background are giant fans, exhaust fans, here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It may bother the audio, but it's nothing wrong with your set, I assume. Ace 2.
Another ace.
And he's caught Connors twice, going flat with the serve to Connors' backhand.
Now watch here, when Connors leans, he moves to his left. See him move to his left, and beautifully McEnroe maxes it up.
Advantage McEnroe. 4 straight points from Love 40. Wow, close to ace 3. And it hits the center line. Wow,
Right.
barely a left.
Right on the line, too, bud. We're on right behind that center linesman, Jim Gross. And we get a good shot at that center line.
And there is the first disappointment for Jimmy Connors. A Love 40 game, and he doesn't win it. 3-2 for McEnroe. So let's retreat in time to yesterday. Johnny McEnroe against the tournament phenom, John Sadri. McEnroe won the first set, but at the point we joined the match, it is 4 games all in the second, and McEnroe serves 30-40, a break point, Sadri receiving. Net cord. Oh. Is broken, and it's the first break of serve of the day.
This crowd comes alive because they realize only too well that Sadri is back in this match. See the break point here. McEnroe makes a good save. Sadri smartly lobs down the backhand side. Watch Sadri cover this. And right here, John McEnroe tried to catch the ball on the fly, was a little late, stepped slow, and he missed the backhand.
He was aggressive. That was the time that McEnroe losing his serve for the only time yesterday. Sadri won the set. Connors gets the net cord. Sadri won the second set yesterday, but could win no more. But he had a set point in the first, so McEnroe escaped the young man who served 74 aces during the tournament, Johnny Sadri. It is 15-love second serve, and here we are atop the first deck, anyway, of the Spectrum. Connors has got it, and wins the point.
I thought McEnroe made a smart play there, Bud. Came in with the chip, but Connors really nailed that passing shot off of McEnroe's overhead. Good play here as I watch McEnroe. He's chipped and come in. Now he bangs it away, but Connors was right there. Guessed.
Second serve. 30 love. Connors has missed only one first serve before that point. So it's 3-all. And McEnroe is doing the heavy work in the serving thus far. Connors has not lost a point on serve. And Connors has McEnroe in trouble. And here's McEnroe's first beef. Let's listen.
The linesman sitting there, Bud, has his hands down with the safe sign.
Eric Blanchard called the ball good. McEnroe felt he had faulted. Johnny likes to call all the lines.
Connors returns it very low, right at his feet. McEnroe doesn't handle the volley at all, and now is complaining about the first serve called good.
It's love 30 and more trouble for McEnroe. Oh! Connors has another triple breaker.
There you see Jimmy Connors' anticipation at its very best. He picked the spot beautifully of that first serve, leaned into it, and rippled the winner. You've got to have great hand and eye coordination to make a shot like that. Another great chance for Connors in the first set.
Not touches the net. It's not an ace. That is going to go wide. 15. Break point 2 of the game.
Tremendous crowd here today, Bud. What would you guess? 12, 13,000?
Yeah, about 12. Best crowd of the tournament, I'd say.
By far.
At the Spectrum. Good second serve. Break point 3. And can McEnroe escape from 2 successive triple breakers?
Well, that's amazing if he can, because he's down love 40 each time, and he's got to serve consecutively.
Against Jimmy Connors?
Very well, 3 points in a row.
30-40. Serve is long. Net cord touches the line, and Connors has the break. McEnroe was too cautious there, and Jimmy Connors' wife approves the break that gives Jimmy a 4-3 lead. And Barry McKay, let's see it again.
Let's watch this because it's an awfully big point. Connors comes cross court. Look at it sit right there. Now, McEnroe could have played that ball, Bud.
Bad judgment.
He just took a chance, figuring it was going to flip wide, and he's got to cover it on a game point like that, a break point.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Now, Donald, you've played many, many tournaments in your career. And Barry, it's 30-40. Can you let that ball drop and hope?
You got to play it, but for sure. I was really surprised when John let that ball go. He had a play on it, and for sure he should have gone.
Barry, what's he arguing about with referee Bob Howe?
He's talking about the service line guy.
Eric Blanchard. He's complaining about Blanchard.
Yeah. But basically, but he definitely should have played that ball, I felt.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. It was there. It was a sitter for him. He misjudged. We all do it. And so Jimmy Connors will be serving with a 4-3 lead.
Barry, I wanted to ask you, I don't get the feeling that McEnroe is really into the match. I mean, he seems a little careless, a little sloppy, and bothered by everything.
Donald, I'll tell you, he's a totally different player out here today than he was yesterday. He came out a lot calmer, and he hasn't started fast at all. He's been down twice, left 40 on each serve. But he's a different kind of guy today than he was yesterday against Sodry, and I think it's the respect he has for Jimmy Connors.
Well, thank you, Barry McKay. Connors has gone within himself, not a peep. All business. He's made only 2 unforced errors. He's 83% on first serves. He seems determined to try to start 1980 by overturning the guy who took 1979 away from him.
McEnroe still bothered by the same linesman. Didn't like that call either. Now
it's a fault.
It is a fault.
Connors the leader, 4-3. It's best of 5 sets, remember. The Grand Prix, of course, seems never to end. It began the first week in January, but everybody in tennis considers Philadelphia the official opener. Jimmy Connors won Birmingham last week and is on a 9-match winning streak. You'll see McEnroe. He'll jump to that net at every opportunity.
Well, it's interesting, but I'm surprised that Jimmy won't come in more. He's got the 4-3 game with the break. And if he doesn't come in, you know McEnroe will be there. And I think you're better off passing on this particular game. 15-30. Lots of slice from McEnroe. Connors has good respect there for McEnroe's for keeping that ball to McEnroe's left-handed backhand. Every has a backhand side.
Serve and volley from Connors. And he has the point.
Good deep serve. Connors selects to follow. And look at that first swing volley. Real court up. Plays behind McEnroe, but it was the volley that did it.
And so Connors has the game 5-3. To my mind, that backhand volley of Jimmy Connors is one of the most exciting shots in the game.
It's a swing volley, but occasionally he just lunges at it and goes for broke. He's not tentative. He doesn't place it. He goes for it.
Facing 3-5. nicely.
McEnroe appears a little bit, I don't know whether it's disgusted or lethargic, staying back to some on these ground strokes, Connors, and really pressing him on the first serve and volley, but he's trying to get some rhythm from the baseline. Well, there he came in.
Two very volatile players, very subdued at this point. Connors seeming introspective. Wide. Wide.
And no question that Connors is really dominating that return of serve. He's hurting McEnroe. He's really put the pressure on him, and he's had 2 games, love 40. Finally broke with the let cord, but he's hurting him on that return. And the reason Jimmy Connors is doing so well is that McEnroe's missing more and more first serves. It's now down to 50% here after serving 4 times.
And a double fault takes McEnroe to double set point. His 3rd double fault.
I mean, Connors double set point.
Yeah, it takes McEnroe to double set point.
Against him.
Right, he's the server.
15-40.
And so he's below 50%. And he just lost his cool there. Yeah, he said the heck with it. So Jimmy Connors breaks on top. 6 games to 3 in this best of 5 set final for the U.S. Pro Indoor Championship in Philadelphia, as we go to Barry McKay with Brian Gottfried, one of the doubles finalists today.
You mentioned something real interesting about maybe why McEnroe might be just a bit tired out here today.
Well, that's right, Barry. I think the guys that play singles and doubles, you know, have a little added disadvantage. He's played twice as many matches as Jimmy has this week. It's tough enough playing Jimmy, you know, if you play the same number of matches as he does, but you know, if you're a little tired, a little sluggish, which looks like the case, you know, it's that much tougher.
Brian, how about playing against a so-called injured player? I asked Gene Muir earlier, what's your feeling? What do you do when you go out against a guy who allegedly has some kind of a problem physically?
Well, you try to forget about all the talk you hear in the locker room, first of all, because you don't know, you know, how bad a guy's injury is. I'm sure, you know, Jimmy's been talking about his groin all week, that, you know, he has hurt it. So, you know, it's just a tough thing. You try to forget about it and try to play your game.
How about the doubles today? You and Raul are a good new team again.
Yeah, we're a new team now on the circuit. We're excited about getting back together, and we lost to Fleming and McEnroe once. We'd like to get a little revenge.
Okay, Brian, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Barry.
Talk to you, bud.
Thank you, Barry, with Brian Gottfried and Raul Ramirez, former Wimbledon champions, reunited at the conclusion or near the conclusion of last season. And they are in the final later today against this man, Johnny McEnroe, and Peter Fleming, who survived a match point yesterday against Heinz Gundhart and everybody's favorite partner, Wojtek Fibak. Jimmy Connors leads off in the second. Two breaks of serve, both of McEnroe in the 7th and 9th games. And now this is the toughest spot Connors has been in. Love 30. He was in a 15-30 game. The 8th game of the match. The first game in which McEnroe could score against the Connors serve. Is wide.
That's a really bad habit John's getting into. That ball, whether it's good or wide, you don't know from here, but
Well,
he's letting everything bother him. Huh?
You could see that was wide.
I thought it was
Yeah.
wide, but he's questioning every call. And it really bothers him, I think, in trying to beat a good player. Yesterday we were saying how it seems to not affect his concentration. All right, here comes Connors. Let's see if we can watch it here. Here's the lob. Connors lets it bounce. Looks wide from here.
15-30. Well, the late charge wins the point for McEnroe, and here are his first break points.
15-40, and yet Connors elected to stay back on that point.
And Connors playing the serve and volley, gets the return where he wants it beyond the court. Second break point.
Have a real interesting matchup. We'll try to show you next change around. Mrs. Connors, Jimmy's wife, is sitting next to, shoulder to shoulder with Mr. McEnroe, who has arrived late for the match. And that when you're sitting next to the guy's father, you're playing.
That means you're in the match playing too. I think he aced him. No, it's called fault by Tom Quinn. A late call, but Quinn is right on that line. And McEnroe has a break. And he starts the second set and will serve with a lead of 1-love. And let us go back again to John McEnroe's match yesterday on Sadri in the fourth and final set. It is 3-2 for McEnroe. He is serving, and the score in the game is 30-love. McEnroe serving. Johnny McEnroe. The corners comes McEnroe, and couldn't have been a better lob than Sadri.
Gave him a little look, Bud, and a smile of respect. You'll see it on the end of this.
So McEnroe match. Here is his sire, John McEnroe Sr. on the left, sitting next to Patty Connors, Jimmy Connors' wife, Fern Bremen, co-chairman, along with her husband Ed Fernberger. So,
and what I was saying, Mr. McEnroe is a very vocal fan and supporter of Jimmy's and of John's. It's going to be interesting because he likes to get up and yell and cheer, encouragement, and try to talk to his son sometimes from a distance when they're playing. And it'll be interesting to see here's next to Jimmy's wife.
McEnroe trying to consolidate his lead. He lost the first set. It's 1-love in second. It is good.
All right, there Connors makes a beautiful lob. McEnroe hits that bolo punch low. Good volley by Jimmy, but it skips the net, gives McEnroe a little time, but he tries a whiplash, and he just can't quite make it.
Love 15.
Expect Johnny to lift his game here. Play another 10 or 15% better than he did in the first set. And if he does, you're going to have a match.
Go. Connors misses.
No complaint by Connors. Must have been wide. He was right on the line as he hit it. John McEnroe has the early break here in the second set.
Five times Jimmy Connors has stood in this final. Won it every time but 1977 against Dick Stockton. So Philadelphia has been Jimmy's town.
Watch McEnroe here. Comes in very quickly. A deep second serve. Connors punches it, but it's high. And McEnroe just closes in. The little flick volley.
40-30. Philadelphia has been Jimmy's town.
Watch McEnroe here. Comes in very quickly. A deep second serve. Connors punches it, but it's high. And McEnroe just closes in. The little flick volley.
40-30. And 2 games for McEnroe. 2 games to none. Serve returns to Jimmy Connors. He beat Bjorn Borg in the 1976 final here. Roscoe Tanner in 1978. Arthur Ashe a year ago.
Collins, who do you like in this match?
I think McEnroe will win.
Think you feel a little better and stronger?
Yeah, I do. I think he is in a bit of the early day glooms and gloms after all that playing he did yesterday, but he's awfully strong.
You just think he's got more talent, basically?
I think he needs to hurt you on this court.
Well, I would say for you Connors fans that your stock just went up.
Oh, they should mortgage the house now that I picked McEnroe.
Collins hasn't been right since 19.
John McEnroe, Patty Connors sitting next to one another. Beautiful lob. Surprised by Connors.
And a smart. The best shot against a charging left-hander is the lob back down the line against your backhand side. Sadri broke serve yesterday when he did it twice to McEnroe. Connors backed him up there.
Oh, McEnroe. Ted Tinling, distinguished tennis historian and dressmaker for many champions over the decades. Put the lace panties on Gussie Moran. Did Chris Everett's wedding dress.
He's going to do Mariana's wedding
Simiescu's wedding dress. Fine.
For Borg's wedding.
Wide.
So here we are in the finals of the U.S. Pro Indoors, a promoter's green. The number 1 and 2 seeds get through. Connors serving to get back in the second set.
Going long, it's deuce. And Connors is the number 1 seed despite all McEnroe's recent success. Jimmy is not only the defending champion, he is number 2 on the ATP computer behind board. McEnroe is 3. That's long. Connors. Jan Leschly sitting in the scene. Semifinalist at Forest Hills, B7. A Dane now living in Princeton, New Jersey. Connors closes it out. 2-1 in the second set for McEnroe, but Connors won the first set 6-3.
Game point. Connors stays. Moves the ball around pretty good. Gets the ball. Goes back cross court. McEnroe on the angle, and Connors comes in with her to end the rally.
So Pro Indoor, of course, is a part of the worldwide Grand Prix. Volvo has repaid as the sponsor in men's tennis. And after 4 tournaments, here's Donald.
Connors won Birmingham Bud last week, beating Elliot Telcher in the finals. There in third place. Harold Sommer, he got here to the quarterfinals this week, so he'll move up. Vijay Amritraj, who got to the semis last week and pulled a muscle down there in Birmingham, did not play, so he's resting. Butch Waltz, Tim Gullickson, Shlomo Glixline, the number 1 Israeli player, won the Tasmanian tournament. 2 week he is in 7th place, followed by John Sadri, who won the New Zealand championships in Auckland the same week, and he's in 8th place. Now it'll be interesting because Sadri moves up this week based on his results here to about 3rd place Grand Prix.
Well, I don't think Shlomo Glickstein can keep it up all the way to the Masters in the top 8, Donald, but that is quite something. The first time an Israeli has appeared high in the standings. And overhead in the Spectrum championship banners for the Flyers, of course, the Philadelphia Flyers, whose home this is, and the 76ers as well, the Stanley Cup champs. You can see it there. They won it all, the Stanislaus Cup, emblematic of the tops in hockey, and the Flyers are still favored to win that this year. May think differently about that in Montreal, however. McEnroe.
And although he has lost the first set, John McEnroe has the early break here for 2-1 in the second set. You see why he's so devastating. Connors pops up the return. McEnroe to the open court.
That is James Scott Connors.
Connors way in front of that return. Hits the cross court. McEnroe just bunts it down the middle, doesn't put it away. Connors goes for the winner.
15 all.
A little tentative on the volley by McEnroe.
First. Net judge Brooks Kepper. Net cord wide.
30-15.
You could see McEnroe flinch when that ball hit the net. That was just about the same place that Connors' winning net cord shot struck in the first set. The ball that brought about the first break of serve. Long. Paddy Connors. So McEnroe, playing a strong game, goes to 3-1 in the second set.
But that's exactly the way I feel McEnroe has played to beat Connors. He's really got to smother him. He's got to come in a lot more, particularly on Connors' second serve. And he's got to attack here with his big first serve. Comes in, Connors pops it up, and McEnroe nails it right.
3-1 for the receiver, McEnroe. Well, McEnroe definitely changing pace. Does not want to give Connors steam. He's been slicing low balls. There he came up with the knuckler. It's not loaded.
Wants to shoot himself there. And they're different. They're best two competitors in American tennis. And that's why they're 1 and 2 in America. Plus a ton of talent. McEnroe has yet to find his rhythm.
Several careless errors by John McEnroe. Connors holds serve, but McEnroe leads on a break, 3-2 in the second set. U.S. Pro Indoor at the Philadelphia Spectrum. John McEnroe stretches, flexes, and is ready to serve the 6th game of the second set. Jimmy Connors, the receiver, leads in the match. 6-3, 2-3 by his terms. I'm Bud Collins with Donald Dell. Barry McKay, the U.S. Pro Indoor, Philadelphia, begun in 1969, one of the premier indoor events of the world. McEnroe, the challenger. Connors is the champion of this event. It has been 3 previous times. Let's run the first point again.
Just smartly goes with the lob. Watch McEnroe. It's a good deep lob. But look at that overhead, a foot from
15 love. That's been ragged. Connors lost his serve in the opening game of the second set after set. So that's the difference in this set. 1 break. 10th time they've met. Connors holds the edge. McEnroe has 1-4, however. Well, now McEnroe is going to disagree with Frank Galevsky on the line.
In a tight match against a good player, I think you pay a toll, a price for that. Everything bothers him.
Well, there he is at his least disputatious of the tournament. Connors catches up.
There you go. Is the line in or out in this court? Can you tell me that?
Good play by base linesman Heil Macklin. Tough ball to handle. Yeah, he took it on the short hop. That's not Heil. That's Matt Finkel. But oh, and a double fault, which is McEnroe's fourth, takes him into the march of big. Connors with the breaker. And the shot knocks over Jim Gross. One knockdown for McEnroe, but it's only a fault.
McEnroe has a chance here to lose a big edge in this set. He hits a bad second serve.
Whoa. I thought McEnroe would win, but he's not playing well enough to win.
He's got to get some rhythm, but he never seems to get 4 or 5 games together where he gets his total confidence and juices flowing. He's kind of been stops and starts. He can get out of this game. He's in pretty good shape this set.
Well, he finally got a first serve in. I wonder what his percentage is now. 49% on first serves, McEnroe. How can you beat Connors like that? He got out of the game despite the break point and has a 4-2 lead. McEnroe serve. Jimmy Connors, who won 8 tournaments that's the first year since 1972 that Connors has fallen below 10 tournaments. And the people are screaming for Jimmy. And McEnroe, who won 10 tournaments last year. And by winning 10 tournaments, McEnroe became the first in 2 tournaments since 1972. Good.
That is a marvelous shot. Connors probing came in. It was a good deep approach. This is not a bad shot at all here. Jimmy likes to work his way in. Here he comes. Look at that.
Hit the baseline.
Fantastic return there by McEnroe.
15-30.
Cheering Jimmy on. Watch here. He comes in with that little lob. Connors nails it with that two-hander. Surprised he tried that shot. It's not one of McEnroe's shots to the left-hander to lob it.
30 all. Ooh, he got the line. What racket point?
Really manipulates that racket like a toothpick. Just watch McEnroe's hand there. Just flicks it. No stroke, just flick.
Like petting the cat.
Tells you how strong his wrist is, though, because he had no back.
Well, he'd break back if he did it that way. And the winning lob this time, and now has double break, a 5-2 lead, and will be...
I know, it was a long day.
The semifinal doubles match was 3 tiebreakers. So I think it's something he's going to have to think about. But at the moment, he likes playing doubles.
John, has John Jr. always had the ability? He got upset about a couple of things, went back and served an ace. Has he always been that way, even as a junior, as a youngster? Even though maybe he gets a little upset when it's the game, he's right back in there?
Well, I think he's right back. Sometimes he does let things bother him. I wish he didn't, but I think he does have the ability, I think, rule of line to shake it off.
What's your feelings? I know it was a long day.
The semifinal doubles match was 3 tiebreakers. So I think it's something he's going to have to think about. But at the moment, he likes playing doubles.
John, has John Jr. always had the ability? He got upset about a couple of things, went back and served an ace. Has he always been that way, even as a junior, as a youngster? Even though maybe he gets a little upset when it's the game, he's right back in there?
Well, I think he's right back. Sometimes he does let things bother him. I wish he didn't, but I think he does have the ability, I think, rule of line to shake it off.
What's your feeling as a fan and spectator watching your son? You should
Well, another question from Papa Mata. Turn has followed to watch the first big one, the Wimbledon in 1977. Back row number 3.
I thought he said it beautifully.
Yeah, well.
So he gets out here and does just what we've said. It doesn't bother him at all. He serves an ace. Unreal.
That was his 3rd ace.
He's mad as heck as he walked over to that service line, throws up the ball, and hits a perfect serve.
He got, no, it's wide. I thought he might have gotten the line, but Tom Quinn raises the left-hand semaphore out. Two points from the set. And ace number 4 takes John McEnroe to triple set point.
It's really a tough serve. In the center court there on the deuce side, McEnroe going down the line. Connor's not guessing.
And the match is dead even.
Really a funny feeling, Bud, to see John McEnroe, I think, playing about 70% speed, and yet still in the match 1 set all.
1 set all. Well, McEnroe started, I think, to turn it around when he had a break point against him. Donald, in the 6th game, he came in with a good second serve. Connors couldn't return it, and he's been on his way.
15 love.
Interesting to see if Jimmy changes his tactics now and starts attacking a little more. He realizes McEnroe is settling in.
Now, this is not the decisive set. It's best of 5 sets. Wide.
30 love.
Watch Jimmy Connors here. Look at his footwork. He's always bouncing, always in position.
40-15. Net court. I think he got the baseline. He did, and he has the game. First game of the third set, as the guys who are 1-2 in American tennis, Johnny McEnroe and Jimmy Connors, battle for the U.S. Professional Indoor Championship. This is a tournament that goes back to 1969, been run by people like Rod Laver, Marty Reeson, but mostly Jimmy Connors, who has won it 3 times. And it's part of the confusion in tennis that we often remark about, Donald. We love the sport, but it is not without its chaos, is that there's another tournament in Memphis called the U.S. Indoor Open Championship, which is not this tournament. That's the much older tournament. And, of course, that began as an amateur championship. This tournament was formed in the days when not all the players were allowed to play in every tournament. So the U.S. Pro Indoor began, and we also have the U.S. Indoor Open in Memphis. I'm going to go down to that. Are you?
Yes, I sure am, Bud. And I think Billy Donovan down there, his people, Tommy Buford, run a great tournament. It's a beautiful club, 5 indoor courts, 7 indoor courts they use during the tournament. But I think that is the USTA traditional national championship over a 90-year period.
Goes back to the 1890s, but Jimmy Connors is the defending champion there as well. That tournament will be played in Memphis February 25th to March 2nd. But this is the U.S. Pro Indoor, formed to give the professionals their own indoor championship by the Fernbergers, Marilyn and Ed, whose promotional days here in Philadelphia go way back to 1962. They started on a high school basketball floor. And there is Patty Connors, Jimmy's wife, sitting in the first row. McEnroe leads off in the third. His first serving game in the third. Connors leads 1-love. With a winner.
Connors has that little bounce to his walk, which is confidence.
No, McEnroe this week has made Connors seem like a beloved elder statesman at 27.
Hard to believe Connors done all this at 27, still
amazing,
in the peak of his prime.
But is he at the peak? That's what we'll find out this year. Or
Well,
has,
at
has
age
he
27,
declined?
he should be, but
Should be, yeah.
I think just some of the younger players are getting so much quicker and stronger, have more talent. Borg at only 23.
Wonder if he's up above 50% now. We'll check with our statistician. Oh!
McEnroe with the half volley jumps, but nets it. Second set, McEnroe served at 56%, Connors at 72%. It's a big difference.
There is
Perfect
ace 4, 5, excuse me.
Connors hardly even moved for that ball, and it was by him. He bounced straight up,
Advantage McEnroe. And a 6 for McEnroe. And it's 1 game all in the 3rd set. 1 set all. Jimmy Connors to the larger crowd. The larger the crowd, the more they're needed. They tell me anyway, Donald, to draw off the heat.
That was you in the background.
No, I have 2 tones. That's pretty much one.
Shot. The crowd is for Jimmy Connors.
Absolutely. Patty Connors there. Barry McKay will be talking shortly. Well, a very colorful by McEnroe, but one on which he had absolutely no chance. And
Mr. Connors play here. Gets that short ball with the 2 hands and just nails it.
So it's love 30, but Connors came through with 4 straight points, 2 games won. Here's Barry Connors.
Patty, they understand that Brett Connors is going to be a bigger boy than his daddy. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. The doctor said probably over 6 feet.
Words, he may be a little bit taller and stronger than this fella watching out here today.
Yeah, don't say too much to Jimmy. I don't think he likes that.
Do you take the baby everywhere with you when you travel?
Yeah, we do. He's been to Hong Kong, Tokyo. We take him everywhere.
Patty, I'm sitting next to you there. Hard to find that it's exhausting out your man?
Yeah, each ball, you know, you don't really balls hit. That's how I feel.
And, right next to each other.
It is wide. Connors' shot is called wide by Tom Quinn on the sideline.
Here comes Connors. Awful close here on the set.
Very close, 15-30.
McEnroe would get right back in the set with a turnaround break here.
Oh, eyeball to eyeball, and McEnroe wins the duel.
He was lucky to get out of that point. He had an opening for the pass and didn't make it. Suddenly he swatched it here on the second shot. He's got a short ball right here. Has the open court, and Connors' guess is right. McEnroe back at Connors. Connors a little late with the 2 hands. Pushes it out.
And 2 breakers for John McEnroe. The chipped return threw Connors off his rhythm. McEnroe breaks. 3 games to 2. Connors still leads, but they're back on serve in this 3rd set.
Watch this break point. Here comes McEnroe. Look at that beautiful right down the line. It's a little short. Connors can't handle it.
For Jimmy Connors, the U.S. Pro Indoor is not just tennis. It actually begins with the Tennis in Art show at the Fidelity Paris. This trophy on display was won by Richard Dudley Sears, Dick Sears, our first national champion in 1881. And a seat on the aisle, Ted Tinling. The tennis dress designer, also a tennis historian of note, lives now in Philadelphia, an Englishman who used to umpire matches long on the Riviera back in the 1920s.
I think what he must be wondering over 50 years of watching the game of tennis
More,
change.
60 probably.
Unbelievable what's changed.
Johnny McEnroe trying to catch up in the third set. The match is even. Wide.
Why, oh why do you get the feeling that McEnroe is still in command, even though he's behind slightly at a set all on 2-3?
Because he's always pressing in, always pushing you to the wall.
The crowd won't like this because they played about 4 hits.
Shot was long. Let's look at it again.
Watch right here. All right, now McEnroe, the ball was going long. Played that point, any 4 or 5 each, and Connors wins the point. Now McEnroe wants him to go back and check on that call. The point is awarded to Connors.
Just history. First serves a lat. Connors.
You know, Bud, McEnroe's got the talent and the intensity to overcome all these outbursts, but I think it really slows him up.
John's father, John McEnroe Sr.
Murder when everything's bothering you. Stuff enough just to beat Connors. I remember I used to Grander in the Davis Cup team in 68 and 69. Let's just try and beat the opponent, not the linesmen, the ball boys, the crowd, the photographers, the ushers.
Any of one-on-one is tough enough. So Jimmy Connors holds serve, 4 games to 3. They're back on serve. Connors had led 3 games to 1. And we'd like you to meet an extraordinary woman in the field of tennis, I should say in the field of sport, because promoting a major tennis tournament is a big venture in sport, and this is Marilyn Fernberger with Ed Fernberger promotes this tournament. Johnny McEnroe at 15 love. Big game here, the old 9th game as McEnroe double faults for the 7th time.
I think, Bud, you know, the Fernbergers, Ed and Marilyn, do a fabulous job here of promoting. They've run the tournament in Philadelphia now about 17, 18 years. And I thought they got a little unfair publicity last year, which hurt them. And they were totally exonerated by all that when they finally investigated the facts. They're back this year with another success.
John McEnroe, 15 all, 3 games to 4. The match is as tight as it can be. 1 set all. And he double faults for an 8th time.
He's really bugged by that guy in the front row, who's about 8 seats down from Mr. McEnroe, who keeps clapping every time he double faults. McEnroe says to him, "That's bad."
Well, McEnroe supporters have to hope so. 15:30. National Sports Arena, and the man paid to get in to cheer and say what he likes as long as it's not abusive. Oh, Connors is long. This apparently is the heckler.
This is Connors.
National Sports Arena, and the man paid to get in to cheer and say what he likes as long as it's not abusive. Oh, Connors is long. Ooh, what a return. Oh, and he had the shot he wanted, the lethal backhand.
Missed it, and he made a great turn and set that up.
Second deuce. This time they've played the 2 deuces. Oh, what a return. Another breaker.
Second serve, he has that high spin. Connors attacks it. McEnroe is leaning down the line, thinking he would go that way. Connors beautifully mixed it up. One good return by Connors here, and it could be 2-1 if he can hold.
He doesn't like the ball. Will he go for the big hook? Oh, middle, and Connors reads it. And Jimmy Connors has aroused himself with the return that puts him in the driver's seat to serve for the 3rd set. And Philadelphians love it. William Penn is shaking in his grave.
Watch this return to serve. Connors steps in with that backhand roll. Notice how he hit the 2 hands way in front of him. McEnroe had no time to recover, and we're at 3 to Connors. 1 set all. And the men's. Can Connors hold? McEnroe should be all over him and smother him this game if he can. Crowd is 200% for Connors now, buddy. That's what gets you down. That wears you down mentally, I think, if you're Johnny McEnroe.
That sails.
Connors is smartly his first serve in, but he's not trying for any aces.
85%.
Just keeping the ball deep. Backing up McEnroe, but not letting him take a second serve and come in.
So that will go long, and Jimmy Connors is on the brink of the lead again. 3 set points. Donald, you're absolutely right. He has taken away McEnroe's favorite play, the chip and come in on the second ball.
Because he just, you know, he's spinning that first ball deep and consistently.
And there's the set. Connors steps ahead 2-1, winning the third set 6-3. So, Barry McKay, you're down in the cauldron. How does it look to you down there?
Well, I tell you, Bud, I think the whole atmosphere has changed considerably. John, I really feel this time is a little bit upset by this gentleman down here, and frankly, I think it's affected his concentration. Normally, as you both mentioned,
An example, when you're playing a big match in Italy or France and the crowd is for the other local national and they're cheering on every point now for Connors, John has managed to irritate the entire crowd so much that when they get into a long rally, let's say they're great strokes and Jimmy wins it, the crowd's all for Connors.
Yeah.
And I think that wears you down.
Donald, I agree. I don't care what you say when 12,000 people are pulling against you. It's tiring. It wears you down, and I really do feel that John's feeling that out here. This might be a big test for him. Obviously, it's a test, but if he could possibly pull out, I think he's going to gain a lot in stature as a tennis player out here.
Severe groin injury. And, of course, he has been the champion.
He really gets off to a big jump here this year. If he can win Birmingham and Philadelphia back-to-back, he goes up, but he wins 275 points here in the Volvo Grand Prix with the 175 in Memphis, in Birmingham. Excuse me, he's up to 450 after 2 weeks play.
And flying.
Now McEnroe is perturbed, wanting one of the photographers to sit down over on his side.
John McEnroe leads off in the fourth set. He played one previous four-set match, beating John Sadri yesterday. But this is James Scott Connors on the other side of the net.
Great lob.
Woo. And Jimmy's into the strut.
Interesting to watch the way they walk when Connors hits a good shot.
And his wife,
it's
Patty,
his own little walk.
along with John McEnroe Sr., a strange juxtaposition. The wife of the leader, the father of the challenger.
That long flowing stroke by McEnroe on the serve. Big high toss. Connors lunging. McEnroe elects not to bounce it and hits the winner. (30-15) to McEnroe. First game, fourth set. John McEnroe must get in quickly. He's to stay alive.
Connors. Jimmy Connors would not lose very many matches with this kind of lead.
And he's starting to read his serve pretty well there. He guessed perfectly. Comes in with that high forehand attack.
30 all. It's good. Oh!
Look at that lob over McEnroe. Perfect in the corner. Marvelous just to recover to get it. Connors sets up. Does not put it away. McEnroe's there. And he stumbled just as he went to hit that forehand.
30-40. Great point. And what a time for an ace. Seven aces.
Net.
First serve.
Gee. It's way long, but an incredible one.
Needs to throw the ball up a little higher. Yells McEnroe up.
Oh, Connors! And now McEnroe is learning that he can't second serve Jimmy Connors anymore.
To win this match, but he's got to pick up on his first serve. As Connors is playing too well now and settled into a confident situation, he can hurt him on the second serve. Jimmy Connors returning very well in the third set and into the fourth.
Wide. Net cord. And McEnroe has the game. First game of the fourth set.
John McEnroe pounding away the first serve. Hits the let. McEnroe closes for the game. And now down to Barry McKay at courtside.
I'm here with Dick Duran, who's the Director of Commerce for the City of Philadelphia. Dick, I see a lot of banners around. I understand there's tremendous support by the business community for this event.
Yes, as you see, I won't mention any one of them because I won't leave the other 300 or so out, but there is tremendous support from the corporate community around this city and also around this region, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, because the funds for this tournament go into young, as you know, young amateur programs all over this area. Last year it was $232,000, and I think this year is even going to be better.
And I talked to some of the officials last night. The city itself seems to really get behind the event, the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah, the city really does. As you can see, you're in one of the great sports capitals of the world. I don't want to be too much of a booster, but this is the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, as you know, and you can't get much better than that, and you can't get much better than Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe. The whole city's delighted to have them here.
How about our friends of Fernbergers? I understand they've done a great job for a long time with the tournament.
They really have. They've been tremendous. As you know, we just came into office a few weeks ago, but as soon as we were in there, they were on us to get every bit of support they could out of the city, and they really work at it. Real pros, just like these guys.
Thanks a million for being with us.
All right, thank you.
Righto, back to you, Bud.
Thanks, Dick Duran and Barry McKay. As the struggle heats up, if that is possible. James Scott Connors came onto the scene known as the Brash One. And then a few years later, John McEnroe, with much the same contentiousness, trying to push Connors aside. McEnroe has taken over the #1 U.S. ranking after Connors held it for 6 successive years. But Connors is saying today, get lost, kid. Thus far, Connors leads 2-1. It is love one in the fourth. Their meetings have generally been dramatic. The first one at Wimbledon in the semifinals, 1977. McEnroe won 1 set, Connors won 3. The last time they played in the U.S. Open semifinals last year. McEnroe won all 3 sets. Ike called it out.
Oh, I don't believe that. Connors scratched his head in puzzlement because he couldn't believe that McEnroe tried that shot. He was just fooling around and he hits a winner. Watch this. Tries a little drop angle shot off a tough serve.
40-15.
Connors looks at him in amazement. Think he's got good racket control. 40-15.
Well, that racket control left something to be desired. Game for Connors, 1-all. McEnroe is very hard on himself. He expects perfection from the crowd, but he also expects perfection from John Patrick McEnroe Jr. Ace. Number 8.
And here Connors. Watch him go into the bounce. He actually never moves until it's too late. That ball goes sliding off the line.
15 love. The day is far from over for McEnroe. He'll play a doubles final with Peter Fleming. Wide.
McEnroe made a heck of an effort to get that first volley. When you talk about hitting a low first volley, watch Johnny McEnroe right here. Gets in real quick, stumbles, but makes that first volley, and Connors misses the pass.
30 low.
Pretty good deep second serve here. McEnroe hits a little spin, sets up, but the ball was so deep Connors didn't handle the return.
40 love. And ace number 9 ends the game. And McEnroe stays ahead in the 4th set, although Connors leads 2-1. It is 2-1 for McEnroe as he serves
A little slice that he slides in there for a winner.
9th ace. And so Connors is behind 2-1, 4th set, Philadelphia Spectrum. The first serve is a let. James Scott Connors is serving to John Patrick McEnroe Jr., who is disagreeing with the call. That is not an upset, the way McEnroe plays tennis. But we have the 1-2 men in the American game. 2 competitors as abrasive, feisty, and relentless as you will find. Connors against McEnroe. Connors leads 2-1. It is 1-2 in the 4th set. I'm Bud Collins with Donald Dell and Barry McKay. We couldn't bring you a better competitive match. And oh, how we love to open our PBS 1980 season with a final like this. Long.
Connors floating, very fluid. McEnroe with the spin. Both the top spin and the slice.
15 all. That will go long. Connors has been scoring well with lobs.
15-30 to McEnroe. Here he comes with that underspin. Beautiful racket work. He's not trying for control rather than power. Lets the ball go out.
15-30. Hit the sideline.
Oh! He creased that shot on the line. Boy, that one hurts when you're down 15-30 and the guy hits one out of a tree. What a shot. Watch McEnroe here. Now he's out of court. Connors belts it into the open court. Perfect shot. Watch McEnroe. Look at the angle and the wrist. He had the forehand grip and hit a backhand winner.
Pair of breakers for McEnroe, and he has the break on the dipping return that Connors cannot handle on the volley. 3-1 for McEnroe. And a quick turnabout.
Sports fans, we may see our first 5-set match of the year. With McEnroe serving at 3-1. A little premature yet, since he's not serving consistently on that first ball, but he's in command here in the fourth set.
3-1 for McEnroe. And ace. Number 10.
He serves a double. I'd like to see if we can get our camera on the guy in the front row who claps on McEnroe double faults.
Been a heckler down here bothering John McEnroe. He's had 7 double faults, and they've hurt him.
Oh! Marvelous shot by Jimmy Connors. Leaned perfectly to his left. Read the timing and the bounce. Let's see it. Now there you see McEnroe with that hook serve. Comes right into Connors. Look at him guess perfectly. He's out of the doubles line there, but the shot is good.
15 all.
Great timing and anticipation by Connors. Second serve.
Oh, come on.
Now,
That ball's right on the line.
Double fault called.
Dick Betson made the call. And there's the heckler. We don't know who he is.
He's clapping on that double
Maybe
fault.
Barry McKay can find out his name. I don't know.
He's really trying to irritate Jimmy, though. He waited until, John.
Best serve you don't match, umpire. You know that? Best serve I can all match.
McEnroe says that's the best serve he's hit in the entire match. But it's a double fault nonetheless.
McKay, you want to go over there and collar that guy for Mr. John McEnroe?
Yeah. 8 double faults. And 15-30.
It's a bad time for John McEnroe to let his concentration wander. He's got the break.
Oh, what a second ball.
Now, Connors usually doesn't miss those, but he read that perfectly. He leaned to his left, and he had the forehand winner, but he missed it. There's Jan Leslie,
Yes,
former
indeed.
Dane, Davis Cup player for Denmark, living in Princeton, New Jersey, and a wonderful friend.
That is a let. The ball bounded all over the place and wound up on the right sideline as we look at it. Teddy Connors loves it. Break point.
Perfect example here of how Connors works his way into the net. Watch this. Strokes it deep, stays back. McEnroe hits the half volley. Connors sets up again, gets a forehand. Here comes Jimmy on the underspin by McEnroe, who has netted it.
It's the breaker. Fault called by Dick Betson. And Connors breaks back. It was a short serve. Jimmy anticipated. And they're even once again on serve.
Let's see Connors right here. Leaves his feet, but he hits that ball perfectly in front of him. McEnroe just watches disgustedly. And here we go down to Barry McKay at courtside with Teddy Tinling.
Teddy, you've seen tennis for 50 years. What would you say is the outstanding match you've ever seen in your career?
Well, I think probably in later years, Borg and Gerlaitis in the Wimbledon semi-final, Barry, a couple of years ago or 3 years ago. Way back, of course, the great Perry-Crawford match and the Vines-Crawford matches were great. Been great matches, but this is a very electric match. I've not seen many that are more electric than this.
It is indeed, Teddy. How about some highlights of what you've seen at Wimbledon? I know that's one of your favorite spots.
Well, I think Borg's record, the quarterfinals he's played have been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I've loved all of them, but of course I go back to the great days of Tilden and Bartra, and you can make comparisons, Barry. I enjoyed a lot of your matches as well.
All right, Teddy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Back to you, bud.
Ted Tinling, I hope you have color television to see that wisteria jacket he's wearing. As we look down from the basketball scoreboard, but they're using it for tennis today, of course. And Ted Tinling talked about electricity. This is high voltage and rising. Jimmy Connors, whose competitive juices have been like cyanide to opponents, is rising to the occasion once again. Been written off as a phoenix in the ashes, perhaps, by many people, but he still can flow with verve and vigor.
Written off? I haven't written him off. I still think he's in the top 3 in the world.
It's been written off as #1 by many people, and some people feel if you're not one, you're nothing. But he could become #1 again. That's conceivable. Borg may differ.
Well, if he wins this opening major championship, Bud, it's a good running start. He goes way up in the Volvo Grand Prix. He's in first place by 450 points.
It's a long year. Now McEnroe tried a moon ball, and Connors responded beautifully. He didn't let it bounce.
Jimmy Connors just hits a little spin serve. McEnroe attacks with the over top spin. And there he tries to change the pace. Connors wisely catches it early and wins the rally. McEnroe closes in the ball short.
McEnroe broke Connors for 3-1. Connors broke right back. And it's 2-3, 15 all. Unusual. And Jimmy Connors playing serve and volley on the second ball enrages McEnroe, who was stunned.
Connors mixed it up here, and McEnroe tries to chip. But look at Connors smartly rush and come in behind it. McEnroe
Terrific
furious.
tactic. Ooh.
I don't think John saw him at all.
No, he was just chipping, figuring he'd have another shot, and there was Connors at the net. Wide. And Jimmy Connors is caught up in the fourth set. He's the leader in the match, as John McEnroe Sr. does not look overjoyed. Sitting next to Jimmy's wife, Patty. 3-all. So Jimmy Connors leads 6-3, 2-6, 6-3, 3-all. Wide.
McEnroe's still not sharp on that first volley. He just punched it in the middle of the court. Watch him set up here to make that first shot. And he just guides it there. It's short. Jimmy has a second play, but he's wide.
15 love. That is long. Very uneven match for Johnny McEnroe. Looking up at the press box, Lance Tingay of the London Telegraph up there, Laurie Pignon of the Daily Mail, Rino Tomazzi from Rome. Judith Delion of L'Equipe in Paris. Many of the top writers from all over the world. They always come to this tournament. They like Philadelphia Scrapple, I guess. McEnroe. More in the press box. There's Meyer Brandshein, Philadelphia. Gail Schister, the Inquirer. Some of the others I recognize up there. Ellen Fernberger, press steward's done a good job. Gene Quinn of the Daily News up there. Wrote the other day, the players like to come here because they're in a big league arena where the Flyers and the Sixers play. Can understand that. So McEnroe was stumbling for a while, now holds serve. 4-3. They are on serve. He survived that critical 7th game, and let's go to Barry McKay with Peter Fleming, John McEnroe's doubles partner.
All right, Peter, we're down to the crucial part of this match. John's leading 4-3 in the fourth set. If you could whisper in his ear over there as his partner right now, what would you tell him to do right here?
Well, I think I'd try and see if I think he should attack a little bit more on his return to serve, because obviously Jimmy loves to rally from the backcourt. That's his strength, and I think that John really is more at home at the net, and he should get in there as soon as possible.
Take a few chances and move in on that second serve. All right, Pete, one other thing. You guys played a long doubles match last night, 3 tiebreakers. Do you think that's having any effect on John out here today?
Yeah, I think it really had a big effect on him in the first set. I think he was a little bit stiff and sore, and we were out on the court for over 6 hours, and so you know, I feel a little bit bad about that simply because if we hadn't played doubles, I think he would have been in a little bit better shape. But I think he's all right now.
All right, Peter, I'm sure you get tired of talking about John McEnroe. How about Peter Fleming, the ATP champ? Are you going to have a big singles year?
Well, I hope so. I had a few problems this week, but I think, you know, things will come together a little bit, and hopefully I'll do all right.
All right, Pete, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, Barry McKay and Peter Fleming. I'm glad you brought that up, Barry, because everybody always says Peter Fleming, John McEnroe's doubles partner. Peter is number 13 in the world on the computer, and
he won 2 big tournaments, Bud, last year. He won the Jack Kramer Open and the ATP Championships in Cincinnati.
And
should have won the San Francisco, the Transamerica, where he led a set and a break over John McEnroe.
Peter and John had a tremendous match last night. Net cord goes for Connors. And that's wide. Connors and Fleming beat Wojtek Feback and Heinz Guntard in that doubles we've mentioned a couple times. 6-7, 7-6, 7-6. They survived a match point. Now, McEnroe in favorable position.
See if McEnroe crowds him. Gets in as soon as he gets a short ball.
He's got it. Johnny McEnroe on the fly. And he stacks up 3 breakers for himself.
Awfully big point. And McEnroe ripples a winner right here. Watch him on the dead run. Beautiful hook.
Love 40, second ball coming up. First serve was long. And he challenges Connors. Connors is wide. McEnroe will serve for the set at 5-3.
I love the way Peter Fleming says to Barry, well, John's all right. He's at 4-3, no problems. He's down 2 sets to 1 and struggling, and suddenly he breaks serve.
They have confidence in each other. In that doubles match, they were behind Feback and Guntard 2 breaks in the 3rd set yesterday and came back to win it.
And point for 5-1 on Feback's serve.
So McEnroe going for the 4th set, going to get even. He's down 2 sets to 1. Connors is wide. And suddenly McEnroe, who is struggling, has won 8 straight points. Woo!
Here is the classic left-handed hook serve. Beautiful, right in the corner. Jimmy leaned there, lunged, but was late.
30 love, 2 points from the set is John McEnroe. Oh, and 3 set points. And with his 11th ace, John McEnroe makes it dead even and deadly between these two, the 1-2 men in the United States. McEnroe wins the 3rd set 6-3, and so we head into the final, the 5th, the decisive set. And Barry McKay, how do you appraise these 2 men? You're right down there near them as they head down the stretch.
Well, Bud, I think John came back strong in that 4th set and did what a lot of people, including his partner, said he should do, and that is get a little more aggressive, especially on the return of serve. And so I think really that we're in a dead even match here, but I do still feel that McEnroe probably has a slight edge because I think he's a better shot maker and can produce more shots off this kind of a surface than Connors can.
Barry, let me ask you a couple quick questions. As a player, who do you think has the better forehand of the 2?
On the forehand side, I like McEnroe. Donald, I think he's got a safer forehand. Jimmy's shot up the line is a little bit risky, in my opinion, because he sweeps underneath the ball, and John can come over the ball.
How about on the backhand, Connors versus McEnroe?
Backhand, I like Jimmy's two-hander an awful lot, especially on the return of serve. But I think John's got a dangerous backhand, but that two-handed return of serve of Connors has got to be the toughest in the world.
How about on the first volley?
First volley, you're hitting me quick there, Coach. First volley.
Trying to keep you alert.
I like McEnroe. He's got touch, and he's got a lot more variety on his first volley.
Return of serve.
Return of serve. I think Connors just with a slight edge, but on the big points, I like McEnroe.
And on the first serve?
First serve, John McEnroe.
So on balance, you got McEnroe about 4-2 in those 6 categories, and
okay, Coach.
I would agree with that.
Thank you kindly.
They whoop it up at the Spectrum. Nearly 13,000 customers. And who are they for now? They started out as a Connors crowd, but they have to admire the way McEnroe has refused to fold. Very few people trail Jimmy Connors 2-1 and get out alive. Dick Stockton did 3 years ago and won this title in the final. A rare triumph. Now, John McEnroe has won 12 straight points.
Clearly, so far in the match, Bud, you have to feel that Connors has not had any problems with his injury. He's moving well, he's running well, and the match is 2 sets apiece.
A miss hit, and Connors finally ends that streak of 12 points for McEnroe, 15 all.
I don't see any problem with Jimmy's movement at all.
None whatsoever, no? Well, they're on their own now. 2 men in a 5th set. The 2 most competitive Americans.
Connors banging that ball deep to the corners on the first serve. Little touch volley there.
Fault called. Now, and is there a correction?
There has been a correction according to McEnroe.
McEnroe called attention to Jim Gross. The center linesman correcting his call, so it's first serve. McEnroe complains a lot, but he's scrupulously fair. Long.
Well, like you said, but he's a perfectionist. He wants everything to be right.
Wants all the calls.
Wants fair calls, and he just gets upset when it's not quite
and
what
he did
thinks
the
the ideal of
right thing. That linesman was not going to speak up, and McEnroe spoke up for him. Sometimes linesmen get timid with 12,000 people around. They don't want to correct themselves.
And 2 angry players.
Yeah.
First game, 5th set. Connors at the far end.
And it's 30 all. And Connors on the volley. His wife, Patty. John McEnroe Sr. on the left.
Connors still stays back on that serve. He tries to work his way in. Here he comes. It's that first volley. McEnroe can't handle it.
40-30.
Interesting how Connors has not been serving and coming in, but only working his way in on the second or third shot.
Net cord, and it helps McEnroe.
McEnroe held that high ball. We'll watch it with plenty of time on that second shot. Both players on the baseline. Trading cross court. Here comes Jimmy with the forehand. McEnroe, look at that high ball. Now watch, he just waits. Lets Jimmy commit himself and then hits to the open court.
It is deuce. The net cord aided McEnroe. Connors challenge, beats the challenge.
Comes McEnroe. That chip, it's short though. Connors steps in, catches it early.
And Jimmy has the advantage.
McEnroe's got to have more depth than that, bud, or he's going to win this match.
Playing nearly 3 hours, and Connors has the fault called.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you something. Leave it on so the people can hear it. You only call them once in a while. You either call them all the time or you don't call them at all.
Connors is furious because he feels
one or the other, not just once a week.
That Jay Snyder, the umpire, has overruled the linesman, which is his privilege, but it's the first time it's happened today. And Jimmy says, you haven't gotten in so far, why now? And he double falls for the first time in the match.
Boy, that is a big difference between deuce and a game.
He thought he had the game. The skyhook. Oh, McEnroe straightened out the skyhook.
And that's what you mean when you talk about explosive shot making. Watch this point. McEnroe short here. Connors leaps, bounces it seemingly out of court. Look at McEnroe's big left arm as he swoops, catches the ball perfectly,
and it's
for a winner.
Point. Service win.
That was a real good first serve by Jimmy Connors on a big, big point. Connors is mad because he felt he'd already won the game.
Some time ago, he thought he had a service winner at 40-30. The umpire overruled the call, and so it is the third deuce and the longest game of the match. Way long. The two of them, McEnroe and Connors. John McEnroe Sr., the father. Patty Connors, the wife of this man. Ooh. And Connors has got it. Oh, and McEnroe will not like this call. The ball looked wide from where we're sitting, but we're not on the line.
It won't matter because the point's over and the call will be upheld.
And Connors is leaving. He is taking the game and not staying around for any debates as McEnroe stays out to face the linesman, Tom Quinn. Let's look at it.
All right, Connors down the line. Watch it.
Well, what do you think? It doesn't matter what this young man, John McEnroe, thinks. He is railing with the referee, Vic Sasius, and his associate, Bob Howe.
I don't think he should get away with that kind of behavior, but he shouldn't be sitting there screaming at Vic Sasius at the top of his lungs. Sasius isn't calling the balls.
The first game goes to Jimmy Connors. It's the final set. John McEnroe is perhaps perturbed.
Sasius, one of the greatest players in the history of American tennis, sitting there being berated by a 20-year-old who's mad about a call. I just think that's wrong.
Well, there's a code of conduct to cover it.
Well, somebody ought to fine him for that because it looks and is horrible.
The supervisor of officials, Frank Smith, is here. And Jimmy Connors is Philadelphia's man. And here is his leading fan, the man who has been heckling
his cheerleader.
McEnroe. Let's see the play again.
Controversy again, and if you can call it, you're better than I am, because it's awfully close. Here comes Connors down the line. The ball hits right there. McEnroe felt it was an inch wide. The linesman called it good, and game to Connors.
So we're in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Not always dispensed in equal doses, it seems. Certainly the greatest citizen in Philadelphia history was W.C. Fields, but Philadelphians have taken Jimmy Connors to their heart today. W.C. Fields' 100th birthday this year. Send a card. The ball was out. It's 30 love.
We get Barry McKay to ask Vic Seixas about that exchange and what the rules are. I mean, does he have to sit there as the referee and take that kind of abuse?
Well, Barry's right on duty there.
I mean, the next changeover.
Connors has done it.
Barry McKay, you're about 1.5 feet behind the referee there, Vic Seixas. We'll watch this point again here. Watch Connors with the hook. Ball really curves and is inside the line.
Connors did not end up in the stands on that leap.
Yep.
30-15. Uh-oh. From 30 love to 30 all. Jimmy Connors testing his man as only Jimmy can do.
Jimmy's certainly capable, Bud, of hitting 2 screaming winners here. And it's a whole new world for John McEnroe.
Where McEnroe is on first serves. 53%. Not good enough. And there's one of those screamers you talk about.
Connors has got the break point now. This will test the concentration and intensity of John McEnroe. He needs this first serve. Connors is really pumping himself up here psychologically.
Well, another second ball to look at.
Connors will go for it if McEnroe follows it to the net.
Oh! And it is out! Connors had the whole court. He rushed it. Wow.
He lifted up at the last moment, which is unusual. He didn't roll it. He just pushed it out over the baseline. Let's watch it. I think he got a little nervous. Look at that great return. Now here he is with the open court, and he just lofts it. He stopped his swing, and the ball floated about 4 inches long. I think he got a little nervous, Bud.
It is deuce. Court was open. And another breaker.
Good, solid return.
Second breaker. first match, but this is not a bad start. Oh, Jimmy Connors has that point.
Great touch there by Connors on the roll. McEnroe backs up. It's good. Now watch Connors. Hits it early. Lifts it. McEnroe's there but can't win it.
15 all. On court now for 3 hours of pummeling each other, running, lunging, and McEnroe still has a doubles final to play. He played nearly 7 hours yesterday. The difference has probably been McEnroe's serve. 11 double faults. The difference has probably been McEnroe's serve. 11 double faults.
He gets his first serve in, buddies, and no problem. But it's that second ball that Connors is eating up alive, putting a lot of pressure on McEnroe. And there's a good first serve. Jimmy's late.
40-15. Very close to a double fault.
Great play by McEnroe. Real smart play. He hooks that.
Very close to a double fault.
Great play by McEnroe. Real smart play. He hooks that second ball on a chip. Very clever. Followed John Fleming's advice. Peter Fleming's advice, excuse me.
Might be a John Fleming out there who thought the same thing. Peggy Fleming, for instance.
Love 30. Tried it again, but mishit it. He was coming in with the roll. Overhit topspin backhand, but he mishit it. This is the game where he has to make a stand at 15-30. 4-2 to Connors. Final set.
Net cord. And McEnroe is long. He's missed 2 relatively easy balls. 30 all. the sideline. But not that time. I think McEnroe's tired. Those look like tired shots. From love 30 to 40-30. That's wide.
He may be tired, and John McEnroe has to play the doubles finals against Ramirez and Gottfried right after this, but he's hanging in like a crab. He can get 2 points back-to-back. He's alive.
Net cord. Oh!
Connors picks this volley off perfectly. It's a high topspin there, hits the net. Look at this. Guess is right. It's that sharp angle backhand.
It's advantage Connors. That net cord actually should have helped McEnroe. It slowed down the ball for him. Jimmy has advantage. And McEnroe, who had a couple of fine chances, love 30 and deuce, falls behind 5-2. He will be serving. And Barry McKay down in the pit. How's it look now, these two guys?
Well, I'll tell you, Bud, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think John's a little bit tired, and I think that he certainly had chances in that last game. He was, he had all kinds of ways to get into the net, and that's his play. I think Connors, at this stage in a match, really doesn't vary his game that much, and there are opportunities to move in, but he's really not playing the kind of tennis that he normally does, McEnroe that is, when he has the chance to move in.
Well, McEnroe has raised himself before. Lost the first set, lost the third set, was down a break. In this fifth set, recovered. He's still down a break.
Yep.
What, to me, and you guys have played so much tournament tennis, to me, this is a real danger game for John McEnroe. He's thinking, I've got to break, I've got to break. And as we look in the stands, Raul Ramirez is there. He loves, of course, John McEnroe staying out here forever because he'll be a doubles finalist against him. He and Brian Gottfried, Barry and Donald. I think that sometimes a guy says, I've got to break, I've got to break. You think so much about breaking, you neglect to hold your serve in this game, and it's all over.
Now, this will be the tougher game for McEnroe to hold, but I think he'll have to get that first serve in because Connors is going to be loose, and he'll go for the second shot every time.
Yeah. Donald, I think one thing, too, if McEnroe holds serve this game, he's definitely got to make that play like he did in the last game where he had love 30. He's got to move in, take a chance because that's his play against Connors, and this crowd is going bananas right now. We really do have a great match going.
Championship game against John McEnroe Jr., who has come to the final as expected, seeded number 2 behind Connors, has beaten Connors 3 of the last 4 times they've played, but apparently has not broken Connors' spirit in regard to himself. 2-5, final set.
First serve.
It's a let. McEnroe on first serves. 52%. A sad figure for him. Great for the rest of us, but Connors reads the dropper.
McEnroe tries the drop shot. Connors is there before it bounces once almost. Anticipating perfectly. He's flying.
Yes, he is. 3 points from the title. 15 all.
I want to see how McEnroe plays the 5-3 game, but
If he
can
gets
hold
there.
here.
If he gets there. 16 straight matches Connors has won in Philadelphia.
Continues to miss that first serve at half the time. Very irregular.
Woo. Might as well start with the second serve. The first serve is useless. Service winner. McEnroe closes it to 5-3 for Connors. But Jimmy Connors takes the balls. And in his illustrious career, I doubt there's ever been a time, as we look at this 40-15 point, I doubt there's ever been a time, Donald, that Jimmy Connors has served for a championship and not made it. What would you think?
I'd think about that a minute. I wouldn't bet against McEnroe yet.
I wouldn't bet against him either. That's why I say that I think
that good a player.
Oh, Connors is down, and McEnroe should make the point.
I'll believe the effort by both players.
That's the first knockdown McEnroe has scored. Connors has scored 3.
As far as I'm concerned, the best thing that McEnroe has going for him is that you picked Connors about 3 hours ago.
That'll help any player.
Other than that, still even.
So, he goes to the sawdust, and it's love 15.
And you hate to serve at love 15 when you're closing out a match. Seems a lot bigger than really the score is because the receiver is loose. Has a slight edge.
They've been all over this court. McEnroe down 3 times. Connors down once. Scrambling on the plastic. And Connors the sneaker.
Smart play.
Oh, boy.
Crept into the net. As soon as McEnroe hit the floater, the underspin, Connors rushes. Here he comes. McEnroe doesn't even see him. Connors has the winner.
The opportunist, Jimmy Connors, 15 all. 3 points from the championship. Slipping away now like sawdust, the points for Johnny McEnroe.
I just looked over his dad. A little encouragement. 30-15. Connors needs a first one.
Oh, McEnroe!
Boy, that really stuns you when you hit a winner like that. He never even hesitated. Fluent stroke,
and I think Connors played it well. He challenged him. He said, beat me if you can. He came right in. 30 all. 2 points from break, 2 points from championship. Connors is long. It is break point.
So this is a really pressure rally from the baseline. McEnroe nails that forehand. Connors back down the line. Watch it hit just over the edge. And we're at break point. 5-3 final set.
McEnroe hanging by his toenails.
Now he's got a second ball. Connors will stay back.
McEnroe
Called it good.
is on the sideline. Connors came in behind the second ball. Johnny McEnroe let it wail, and nobody wants to lose. They refuse to lose.
Unbelievable shot.
Somebody must. But let's have another look at that break point.
Connors mixes it up, came in behind it on the second serve, which is unusual. Gets the first volley. It's not too deep. Look at McEnroe. Crease it down the line. Goes for the shot. Awfully close. Probably on the edge from here. And McEnroe has done the impossible to break serve again to stay alive at 4-5 here in the last set.
Look at that young man. Incredible. Twice he's been down in the set. He trailed 2 games to none.
You really
He
got
was
to
down on
admire
the break.
that.
5-2.
But
Connors
it's incredible.
Served for the championship, and McEnroe said, no, thank you. But it is not turning entirely McEnroe's way. He has got to serve through Connors to tie it at 5-all. Connors is still the leader. It is still championship game.
Barry McKay down at courtside. How does Johnny McEnroe look? You're about 4 feet from him.
But Donald, I'll tell you what, he's fairly composed, and I've noticed one thing. The last 2 game changes, the guy has really calmed down. I mean, he's almost like our old friend Arthur Ashe. He's into that meditation stuff, but I think he's really calmed down. It was a great game he played. I really felt Jimmy let him off the hook with that first serve error in the last game, but here we go again.
But you see, this is what we're watching. We're watching 2 great champions. Players don't come along like this every day. Connors over the last decade. McEnroe surging undeniably for greatness. They're not going to fade. Somebody's going to have to bash it away from them.
Somebody's got to beat them.
Yeah.
They won't beat themselves.
Oh, what a fight.
There's an argument that Connors is better off returning serve than he is serving in the 5th set like this, because he's had such good success with McEnroe's second ball.
I think Connors likes to return in this situation.
No pressure on him.
Love 15.
McEnroe must hold to get to 5-all. And somebody whistled just as McEnroe went into his...
And what Jimmy Connors!
And you see the greatness of Connors, the intensity, the anticipation as he hits winner after winner. Watch him lean. He reads his serve perfectly, lunging at the last moment. McEnroe had crossed him up before.
The Phoenix flies. It's love 30. 2 points from defeat. McEnroe has been here before.
McEnroe in great trouble. He's got to come in on a second ball. Connors returning awfully well.
And there it is. Jimmy Connors says, come into my parlor with that second serve, and I'll devour you.
Triple match point. Connors has hit 2 outright winners and a 3rd great return, and he's won all 3 points.
Jimmy Connors stands at the doorway to a 4th championship. 3 championship points at love 40. McEnroe has kept climbing out of the grave throughout this match, but they're trying to nail the lid on right here.
Needs a first serve.
McEnroe saves one.
Well, he didn't temporize at all on that first volley. The
Here
ball was about 2 inches from the baseline.
match point number 2. He got the first serve when he had to have it.
15-40.
The spectrum jiggling. Well,
he missed that first serve by about 12 feet.
if you're John McEnroe, do you poke your head into the cannon? Do you come in on the second ball?
Yeah, he's coming in.
Well, there it is. Jimmy Connors is still the champion of Philadelphia and the United States professionally indoors.